Greetings, Aries. Thank you for joining me at the Lightroom forecast today. We're doing your February reading today, so let's get some cards. Let's just get straight into it. We've got the Time and Tides reading on Thursday, which is about the full moon in Leo, so another fiery creature. So let's see what we get today. We're looking at current energies. We get, wow, that came out quick. We get strength, which in fact, in the Leo reading, strength appeared as well appropriately. So we've understood, or we are understanding at this current time, aspects of our unconscious, aspects of our mind. We've tamed or are in the process or having the opportunity and incentive to really fully understand and tame our inner mind. You know, the voice that never stops, the sort of monkey mind, I guess. So in traditional decks, of which you're probably familiar, it is a woman with wearing a floral wreath, in fact, taming her lion. It's a beautiful card. And in the Thoth deck, it is called Lust. So, overarching energies. What are Aries' choice at the moment? Choices. It's very hot today. So I've got everything's open, but I've had to pull the curtains to keep it cool. Oh, what do we get? So, choice for Aries today. We see the card of the Eight of Swords, traditionally, of course. The card where, by all intents and purposes, it appears to be that someone is bound, blindfolded and surrounded by these swords, but in fact they're not. All the eights are cards of the mind, ruled by Mercury, of course. So in this card, in the position of choice, we see in fact, with strength, we're not going to settle. We're not going to accept that little voice in there that is self-limiting. We're vastly more expansive at this current time than that. And we will go through and clarify these cards a little bit more. Oh, we get one popping out there for traits for ease. And I have changed the layout. We're sort of halfway through doing the astro signs, and if you do know your natal chart, what your ascendant, moon, Mercury, Venus and Jupiter are in, it's quite, it can be quite helpful to look at those other signs as well, if you know. And you can look up on AstroNet or whatever it's called. There's quite a few sites and get a free chart. So, traits for ease at this time is allow yourself to be able to receive. Very important, primarily. This card, the 2, is a card of probably the most harmonious card. It's about harmony and balance, which is what we all try to achieve balance. I mean, the world, everything from the macro to micro is all about balance, really, isn't it? It's part of life. It's what allows life to flourish. And so we get this beautiful 2, this reciprocal giving and receiving. And interestingly, at the same time, it can also be a card of choice. The general feeling that I get just from these few cards at this point is, you know, maybe we've been going through, depending on what is going on in our world, Aries, beautiful Arians, there has been a little bit of mental struggle, maybe isn't the right word, but you know, and I know different, you know, it's different for different people, obviously, you know, the internal voice, depending on your disposition. But it appears that that has been an issue at the moment. That's just what I feel from the cards, and we just get what we get, you know. So let's keep going. We'll just peel the veil back a fraction to look at strength. We've needed strength here. We've needed strength. I think this is an ongoing, lifelong process to understand aspects of our ego and our mind chatter, and to keep over time, to continue to learn new things. So it means that we can go out and work with the world, see different things around us that maybe we didn't see before. So can we just have a card for, just too many there, just one card for strength in this overarching energy position. Okay, yeah, we get the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of standing up for what you believe in. So, excuse me, so whatever's been going on around you, maybe you've been finding that you're having to really draw your line in the sand, that because it's about following your own personal integrity here. The sevens, all the sevens are really, can be quite difficult cards, because it brings in, they're ruled sort of by our desires. And so with desire, there's kind of assessment. And with the Seven of Wands, you know, it's obviously wands are, well, not obviously, but they're about the will, you know, your will. So there's an element here where you've been, well, this card suggests that you have been possibly challenged, and you've had to stand up for what you believe in, because it's your truth. You know, this is pretty good. This is pretty nice. In the position of general currents around you, Aries, at the moment, let's look at the Eight of Swords, please. This card of self-limitation, which I think you've kind of kissed goodbye. See ya. Let's see. It's a choice, and you understand it as that. You understand it. We get yet another seven. We get the Seven of Swords. We understand it, within ourselves and how we do it to ourselves. So the Seven of Swords is, I often call it the backdoor man, but it's really often a card of thievery traditionally. But in fact, the way that I see this card in this spread here, look, I mean, it sounds stupid, but we steal from ourselves. It's not really the right way of saying it. We do it to ourselves. There can be a kind of internal element of shame. So instead of, with this card, so instead of, and so that can be a huge limitation. The thing that no human wants and will do anything to avoid is humiliation. With the Seven of Swords, as I say, we can do it to ourselves. So instead of going and knocking on the front door, hello, we always feel that we need to sneak around the back to get what we want. Is not to suggest in any way, shape or form that there's thievery, that you're part of some thievery scenario, but I think the directive here is that it is something that a pattern of behavior that we can actually do to ourselves. But you've understood this, to me. You understand. It's like you've been coming from two different angles, and you understand this within you really have come to understand this within yourself. This reading probably won't resonate, because it seems quite specific. It won't resonate for everyone who may happen to be watching it. It's quite specific. This is part of understanding and taming the beast. This is an element of the beast, as it were. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty interesting. Let's get a card for the Two of Cups, please. There's like dualities, and then we get the Two of Cups, which is again a choice, a duality, but nevertheless a very at the same time a harmonious card, a card that's balanced. It's a really beautiful card. So just another card for the Two of Cups, please. You can get that falling out. Look, I think there's been a process here, and I'll just get one more card with that. There's been a process here. So with the Two of Cups, it's a choice. What are we doing? We understand. So we get the 10. Now, don't be alarmed. The 10 of Swords, again, of course, swords of the mind. The 10 of Swords is many things here. We can feel at times that we've got to the point, certainly indicated here, that there's nowhere to go from the 10. The only doorway that opens for us from the 10, and I say the only doorway, because it is a new cycle that we're going into. It's a new phase. This is ending. All the 10s, whether how amazing they are or how painful they possibly are, they're all moving. Like this is where we get to, this is where the next phase is the wheel spins again, the world appears and we're in a new cycle. Do you see what I mean? So, excuse me, there's an interesting on one hand, you understand an aspect of your own behaviors or the way that your mind works. There is potential conflict here, but I don't think it's, to me, it's not, coming from anywhere else. It's an internal rough and tumble of sorts. But you know that with the Two of Cups here, it's just, I mean, it's one of the most amazing cards in the deck. And maybe you're rediscovering that in your life, that you're doing a review, as is what often happens at the beginning of each year. I keep saying that at the moment, but it is like that. And so, you know, maybe there is a review going on. And you see that to be able to welcome and to receive is equally important as giving. And that we need to, you know, it can be very difficult to receive, to be able to allow ourselves to receive. This is pretty interesting. There's a great understanding of sorts here. Excuse me, for beautiful Aries. Now, I'll just get one more card for that last position of traits for ease. I guess to say traits for ease, that you understand that the actual process that's gone on here, which seems like an understanding of your mental processes. It's the end of a cycle for that, because you've understood it. But let's get one more card, and then I'll pull a card from the journey map. Let's see for the lovely Aries, please. Just what's this 10? Because it is the end of a cycle, but it's like, it is quite a harsh card. It's the end of a cycle. We get the 6. We get the 6 of Cups. This card is quite delightful. You know, it's about childhood. It can be about connections with people, if you so go along with this belief of karmic life, you know, of meeting people many lives over and over again. But it's a card of childhood sweethearts and reminiscing and memories, and also new people. This is the other aspect. Not new people coming back into your life, but someone that you've known very well or had a very strong emotional connection coming back into your life or reappearing, which is usually unexpected. So this is kind of interesting, because a lot of these readings actually are about new cycles beginning, but because of different understandings that each astrological sign has had some sort of there seems to be an epiphany that's a general theme, that there's an understanding or a overcoming hurdles to understand these aspects of yourself, which then allow you to propel yourself into a new cycle. So it's really quite gorgeous. Now, on that, let's get get a journey map card. This is my own deck. We'll get a card from the journey map and also one from the little star. Yes. Right. Speaking of new beginnings, we get the questioning. This card is saying to us that in our recipe book, when we've needed to know a direction or it's time for say, for example, it's time for a new direction, or it's time to do something differently, or we want to get I'm not making much sense. We're looking for a result. Often results are predictable because we are habitual creatures. And so in our recipe book, we know if we do this, number 1 or number 5 or number 3, this is the result that we will get from these things. The questioning is about taking a sort of leap of faith, I guess, and shifting that within your mind, shifting your options within your mind and saying, okay, well, actually, you know what? I'm just before me, I'm seeing, I've got my recipe book, yes, and it's all good and it's been great and I'll keep it. But I also see this savannah, which is like a smorgasbord of all these other recipes that I'm not quite sure, what, if I venture into it, what I'm going to come out with at the end of, if that makes sense. This is a card of asking questions that take you into territory that you're not familiar with and you don't necessarily know the outcomes, but you have faith and you know that within this card there is a portal that takes you into a new zone. It takes you into, it can potentially shift your timeline as well. Just with the idea in an abstract sense that time can slow down or it can speed up. It can take you in that direction or it can take you in another. So it's kind of lovely because there's all this understanding. Looks like there's understanding of our own mental machinations and how we limit ourselves. This directive of this is that we have, this huge smorgasbord of opportunity and potential. We still, beyond everything that goes on around us, we still know our inner truth and integrity, and we will what's the word? Oh, it's just been a funny day today. We're prepared to stand up for our principles. And then there's this new cycle. There's so much going on here. There's actually a lot going on, Aries. I don't know. This could be quite specific and maybe not relative or not making sense to many people. But, I hope you get something out of it. We get one last star card for this reading, which seems to be the guts of this reading, really, is about understanding, which is interesting for Aries, understanding the dualistic nature of the self and understanding new cycles begin, and understanding that we are only limited by ourselves and our own mental attitude. We get the card of manifestation, in fact, manifest, preparation, time to reap. Now is the time to reap. In whatever shape or form this comes in, I think you're, Aries, you're well and ready. To me, it feels as if you've faced just some internal truths that really hurt. It's not that anyone's doing that to you. It's that you've been brave to look at yourself internally. All of it, you know, all of it, from the most difficult things to the most glorious things that you are. So on this, I hope you got something from this reading, and thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. And your likes, shares, and subscribes really help me to keep this channel going. So thank you so much. I hope you can join me on Thursday for Time and Tides, for this really sort of fiery, joyful full moon in Leo. So Aries, beautiful Aries, take care. Have a wonderful week, and enjoy. Cheery. Bye.